Hey artists, today we're going to draw and paint this cute little chick. Make sure you have a pencil, an eraser, a Sharpie, watercolor paper, watercolor paint, a glass of water, paintbrushes, and a paper towel. It's important to have the correct supplies for this style of painting, especially the watercolor paper and the Sharpie. Let's go ahead and get started. So first thing we're going to do is grab our pencil and we are going to draw the very top of this egg. So we're going to draw kind of a C looking shape. Just like this. Then we're going to draw some zigzags coming off of that. We want the zigzags to kind of go all over the place. They don't want to be perfectly the same. We just want it to look like a broken egg. All right, next we're going to draw in the head. So what I did was drew in the head without all the fluff first. You can make the egg come further out than the head. Just like that, and then draw in a little bit of the body here. So this is what we have so far. All right, now for the fur, we're just going to go ahead and take our pencils and kind of go over that fur, and then when you draw with your Sharpie, you can add that. All right, and then we're going to draw the wings. So they're just kind of like pointed shapes like this, coming up, kind of like he's saying hello as he's coming out of his egg. Next we're going to draw two big eyes. I think I'm going to erase that. I made that in the wrong spot. Yeah, I'm going to move that eye up a little bit further, just like that. And then this one here. You can see that I added some highlights to the eye. I added a bigger one and then a smaller one, like that, and then a little beak, which is kind of a triangle shape. Rounded at the top. All right, just like that. So don't forget when you go ahead with your Sharpie to fill in, make sure you don't fill those highlights in. All right, we're going to draw the bottom of the egg. So we're going to draw a little out because we want the egg to be a little bit bigger than the chick. And then some jaggedy lines again. Again, they're all different. You don't want them to be the same. And then when you get to the other side, you can connect if you need to. And then we're going to draw the bottom of the egg. So I'm going to draw the whole bottom of the egg first, and then we will erase what we don't need. So just a rounded shape, C shape. All right, next I added some flowers just to give it a little bit more color and make it seem a little bit more Eastery. So I just added basic flowers, so a circle with some oval type shapes coming off of it. They don't need to be perfect shapes. I'm going to draw another one here and then one more. If they overlap, that's actually a good thing, and then we will just erase the parts that we don't need. So you can see I overlapped this one to this one, so I'm going to go ahead and just erase those inside lines, and it'll just look like that flower is over top of that other flower when we go to paint. All right, next thing we're going to add some grass. So we're going to start about maybe here and then just kind of draw some zigzags. So I'm going to draw it over top of this shell because we're going to erase this line so that it looks like it's sitting in the grass and not just floating there. So you can see I erased those lines there, and now it looks like he's sitting in the grass. All right, next thing we're going to do is grab our Sharpie. I think I'm actually going to make this wing here a little bit bigger. If there's anything that you want to fix, you can go ahead and do that. And this one too. And then we are going to take our Sharpie, we're going to go over all of those pencil lines that we just made. You can go ahead and make some of these outer lines a little bit thicker to show a little bit more dimension. And then we will go ahead and move to our next step. Don't forget to not fill in these highlights. All right, I'm all done with my Sharpie, so I'm going to go ahead and take my eraser and erase all the extra pencil marks, and then we will move on to painting. Okay, I'm done with my eraser, so I'm going to go ahead and take my paper towel and my paintbrush, and we're going to start painting. We're going to start with the chick. So we're going to fill in some of the chick's face here with some water. Careful not to get in those highlights. And then I'm going to grab some yellow paint and I'm going to start filling this in. I want it to be darker right under here, right where the egg is touching the chick's head here, as that shell is going to be casting a shadow. And then we also want it darker right along the edges here. You can see I'm kind of moving into the bottom part of the chick as well. Just going to start filling that in as well. And then we're just going to start blending the colors in to the middle of the chick. I'm going to add some darker paint again right along this eggshell. We want a little darker right under this beak here. Blend that in. Just like that. And then we're going to do the wings. So we want it a little darker down here at the bottom and right along this line. So darker here and here. And then we're going to do the same thing for the other side. If you get too much paint, you can go ahead and add some water and then just scoop it up and wipe it on your paper towel. Okay, I'm starting on this side, so again, darker here and right along here. All right, once you're happy with your yellow, we can go ahead and I'm going to take my smaller brush, and while we're working with that yellow, I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the center of these flowers. Just like that. And then with that same brush, I'm going to rinse it off and we're going to fill in the beak with some orange. I made it darker along this edge and this edge, and then I kind of left that section right there a little lighter. So I'm just going to rinse off my brush and add a little water, kind of move that in there to make it light orange like that. All right, again, we have our orange, so we're just gonna go ahead and start filling in this orange flower. So what I'm gonna do is put orange all along that circle in the middle and then kind of pull it out like this. With your water, you want to use water to pull it out. Then I'm going to add a little bit more dark again. You want it darker if you have overlapping petals like this. You want it darker under the petal. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and start on another flower. So I'm going to start on that purple one next. I'm going to do the same thing, add some dark purple around the outside here, this circle. And then start pulling it out. And see, I just grab some water and pull on that paint. If you don't think it's dark enough, you can just add some more. I think I'm happy with that. So next I'm going to go ahead and do the pink one. Oops, drip some water. Okay. Around the outside again. And then pull it out. right. Okay, next I'm going to go back to my bigger brush and I'm going to start on the eggshell. I didn't do a whole lot to the eggshell. What I did is I filled it in with some water. You don't even have to fill in the whole egg, just definitely this top portion here. And I added a little bit of yellow, kind of like the sun is shining on the egg, and that just makes it seem not so flat. You can see this part of the egg now has a nice shadow on it, and this part doesn't. This looks like a lot flatter than this does. So we're going to do the same for this bottom part, but also for the bottom I added a little bit of gray for some shadow down near the bottom. So I'm filling this in with some water first. Then I'm going to grab my yellow, add that to my egg. If you get too much yellow, you can just pick it up, add some water to your brush and go over it, and then wipe it on your paper towel. Now I'm going to go in with my gray. Again, we don't want this to be super dark. You don't want a gray egg. You want a nice white egg with a shadow. So we're just going to add a little bit of gray near the bottom here, along those flowers. That would be casting a shadow. And then just kind of blend it in like that. All right, now we're going to do the grass. So I'm going to take my water, I'm going to fill in around those flowers. And I'm going to take my green color and start going over that. You want it a little bit darker by the flowers where there would be shadows, so underneath here. All right, and then I'm just going to take my water and I'm going to blend until it's kind of like a gradient at the bottom there, like this. And go back in with some more of that green where I want it darker. Alright, I think I'm all finished with my chick. If you enjoy doing this art project with me, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to see when I release new videos. I'd love to make art with you again soon. Most importantly, keep creating. I'll see you next time. Bye.